Welcome to the Stanley Street Social Daily Unpack of the Giro 2020. My name's Alex Clements. I'm here with Campbell Flatemore. We're up to stage 8 of the Giro. We've been here every day, 5:30. If you want to tune in, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter and Twitch. If you want to join the conversation, otherwise it gets posted post recording on all those platforms. So you can tune in later. Otherwise, you can jump on now, ask some questions. Yeah. Last night, Campbell, was it what you expected?
Well, we both tipped Demar to win. That was always going to be subject to probably FDJ taking on responsibility early. And I think it was pretty clear that they weren't going to do that. And then the breakaway had their day. Did you see the breakaway go? Was it a scramble to get in, etc., etc.?
It looked semi-tricky. It didn't go for a while. So obviously there was a lot of interest to be in the move compared to, I think, when we had Jimmy Whelan on. He was talking about, like, he just went in that move and it just stuck. It was just him and 4 guys just went. Whereas I think it was 30-odd K till the move actually got locked in, which probably shows the intent, probably shows that there was murmurs around that FDJ weren't interested, which for me, I found a little bit confusing that they weren't interested.
Yeah, it was probably clear that they weren't going to get any help. Demar's the fastest guy.
They were going to have to ride. They were going to have to ride. That was the end of it.
They would have had to commit 3 guys as a minimum, and then were they going to have enough guys left for the finish, etc., etc. And also, to be fair, those climbs on that finishing circuit were actually quite steep as well. If it had been racing full gas up there, could have Michael Matthews and Team Sunweb have got rid of Demar as well. So it was probably the right decision not to chase, and Quickstep just rode a nice easy tempo. And given the day that they had in the crosswinds a few days ago, I think everyone was pretty happy to have a pretty tranquilo day on the Giro. The weather was nice, some good seaside things to see. It was just a nice day that they probably wanted after the crosswinds.
It would have been for some fatigued legs and minds in that bunch after 140 kilometers of stress.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably more than that. You probably got an hour before of stress, a little bit of neutral, and then 140 Ks of racing where you're just hanging on for dear life, just hoping that things go right. So I think, yeah, like you said, there would have been some happy campers in there that there was no real race on today.
And the guys in the breakaway are all really strong riders too. Don't know too much about Ravanelli from Androni, but Brandel, Super TTR, Roscoff, I think he's been second in a couple of Grand Tour TTs before. Holmes won TDU stage, or was he second to Port?
He beat Port. He didn't win the overall, but he beat Port up Wollonga from the breakaway, which was unheard of.
And then Puccio, super strong rider, and Dowsett, the guy who won the stage, a strong TT. So some really strong engines in the breakaway. And I thought that Israel cocked it up big time the first time over the ascent, managed to get back on, and then just 1-2'd, and it was enough. But I thought they probably should have tried maybe 50K to go, because they were never going to come back. Obviously, all's well that ends well. But I was very worried for him there at one point.
You would have been awfully nervous being one of those 2 Israel blokes going, you know what, we need to win this. Like, there is no excuses here. 2 guys, like, this needs to work. Also, I think what we saw afterwards is so much pressure for a lot of those guys in that group to win. It's a tough year. It's a COVID year. Dowsett out of contract. There was a lot on the line, but hey, he delivered.
Yeah,
stage win. Can't do much more than that to help your contract hopes.
Well, I haven't seen the interview, but I've heard it was quite a raw genuine interview with
Mm.
Dowsett. Still looking for a contract for next year. And to be fair, off of what he's done recently, you probably wouldn't go near him. But a big stage win like that in a Grand Tour, it's probably enough. It's probably enough to get a contract for next year. So
Mm.
hats off to him for keeping to chip away, and yeah, it probably saves their Giro too. The pressure's off for them.
Yeah, I think if Israel came out of this Giro with a stage win, they would have. That's
Big tick.
ticked the box.
Yeah.
That's a tick. I'm just looking it up because I remember when I clearly remember when he won that Giro TT. Did he beat Wiggins? Like, was it?
Was it 2013? Was it 2013?
Yeah, I'm just
really
sifting
long
through.
TT. Yep, it was
Here we
2013.
go.
54k long
Yeah.
TT.
He's put 10 seconds into Bradley Wiggins.
It was
Like-
1 hour and 16 minutes.
Yeah, and there was a filthy climb at the end. Like, yeah, I remember it. And
It's a really hard TT, 43k an hour average.
And he was like the hottest thing on the block after it because he beaten Bradley. He was a British guy. But since then, it's been pretty slim pickings.
Yeah. He's a
Even
TT
from
specialist.
even yeah. But he hasn't really been a TT specialist since.
No. I mean, he's won a lot of national championships for the TT.
Mm.
Stage of Poland. So he won bits and pieces, but this is a massive win, and it'll probably save his career for another year.
The other part that he puts a bit of emphasis on, besides the fact that he's been a pro for so many years, is he's got a baby on the way.
Yep.
He's got La Familia's growing, so there's a bit of emphasis on him to have a contract. So I think that would be
Michael Matthews cleaned up best of the rest as well.
It wouldn't be a breakaway day without Michael Matthews cleaning up the best of the rest. He's the king of winning when there's a breakaway up the road.
Arnaud Demar and some of his other FDJ boys weren't too interested, probably just taking it easy for another day. Smart business from them. Already got 3 stages. Still got a nice little buffer in the points jersey, so no need to do anything today, and they just took a genuine backseat for the day.
Yeah, a little bit of an alpha move maybe on the rest of the sprinters. Like
Yeah.
we don't care. I'm not racing for 7th. You racing for 7th?
You boys have it.
Yeah, I'll win bike races. I don't mind that from FTJ. No real other thing to I think anything else to note really besides
besides the
breakaway
fact
one.
that Simon Yates has gone positive for the
yes. Out of race news, we've got a COVID positive test.
What does that mean, Alex?
Well, the thing that I can't wrap my head around is what does that mean? So not Green Edge, Mitchell Scott have apparently on paper tested all negative. I can't work out how that is truthful, but
There's a lot of
I'm also not a medic. I'm also far from a medic, so I don't know if there's any doctors on the line. Feel free to hook us in with some intel as to what that actually means. How? Because they're rooming with guys. They've got roommates here.
Not even that, but just I mean, if this virus spreads as wildly as what's been reported, if you're on a bus, if you're riding in a peloton with 150 guys and you've got the Rus, how is it not spreading like wildfire? Maybe we're going to see some carnage unfold on that front over the next couple of days, but you just feel like if Yates has been on the bus with all the boys, it's only a matter of time. It's a ticking time bomb.
The bus is a good point too. Like, think about that. You're in this small, inclusive space with your entire team. Swannies,
again, we're not boxed. We don't know.
No.
But
I guess Adam's point too. Does that come back to why he was struggling?
Potentially. I mean, it does provide a bit of a reason to why he was struggling.
He was hooking beforehand. He wasn't like he came in with question mark. He was flying.
So that's a big reason to why he's been struggling, you'd think. But yeah, I just feel like there's a lot to come in the next few days around this.
Races are being cancelled.
Mm.
The Giro's got COVID.
I think that was the only thing that was going to bring it unstuck, because we've been talking very strongly that this is going to go to Milano, hell or high water, but a genuine positive in the bunch. We haven't had to deal with that yet, so that's something that could really bring it
not a
unstuck.
random mechanic, not a race
Yeah,
TS, like a rider, a genuine rider, a race contender.
That was the only thing that I think was going to bring him unstuck, because I've seen that masks are now compulsory in Italian civilization, but all the Italians are still wearing it on the chin, on the hand, whatever, man. Got my mask on. It's on my body.
This is Italy.
So, yeah. But I mean, if all things, if that was the only positive case, it's good for Lucas Hamilton. He now becomes probably the genuine leader, looking at their current GC settings.
He's the race leader.
Or they're just going to go completely for stages, and that probably starts tonight, stage 9. Good day for the Fuga. Probably looking at guys like Howson, Jack Haig to start going up the road. But I mean, are people in the peloton going to try and stay away from these Mitchelton boys? Like, you guys got the Rus.
You can't stay away. It's not possible.
I know. It's busy couple of days coming right up.
So let's just run the numbers on this. If you were Lucas Hamilton is here, he is 17th, 2 minutes 47 down on the general. You are Matt White. You've got a rider in a solid GC position, big potential. He's come in with confidence. He's moving well. He's a good professional rider. Do you throw the boys behind him, or do you go for stage wins? Or is it a blend of Lucas, you can ride for the GC, but you're not getting any help, and the rest of the boys are going wild up the road?
I feel like that's probably what it's going to be, the latter. I mean, the guys will do what they can. It's not like they're going to not go for stages because they're all going to be protecting Lucas. I think they're all going to get the chance to go up the road. But if you're not up the road, then you try and help Lucas as much as you can. But I don't think there's going to be any time where they're going to have to probably defend pink jersey or rip tempo on a climb. I think it'll just be about Lucas following wheels for as long as possible. And guys like Cam Meyer, Damien House and Jack Haig sniffing out the break. So I don't think there'd be too much pressure on Lucas, but it gives him a good opportunity to be a leader in a Grand Tour with no pressure, really.
Yeah. So, I don't mind it. I look forward to this second and third week showdown as well. Just some wild stages. Anything can happen. Yes,
anything can and will happen.
Yeah. Yes, he's 2 minutes 47 down, which maybe in the tour you might think, it's getting a bit far out of scope, but here it's a ball game still.
And don't forget that Joao has 43 seconds to second place, which is Bilbao. So
exactly,
we don't know how this young Portuguese kid is going to go when it comes to the second and third week, but so far he's been incredible, and there's still a big time trial to come on stage 14. And his team are looking super. I'm not sure what sort of quality they're going to have re-support in the mountains, but I don't think the responsibility is going to lie with them to control things. I think it's going to be Trek and Sunweb and Jumbo Visma that are going to have to control things in the mountains. So everything's gone perfectly for Quick Step so far.
Yeah. Well, if you put it that way, so if you say Vince Nibali at 5th, 1 minute 1, Lucas is a minute 46 off the
no stress.
Actual GC. Like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
On to tonight.
208k Giro.
Thanks for coming. And it looks like you pretty much climbed from 117 to the finish line.
Yeah. Yep.
Hardly a downhill.
Yep.
After a Cat 1-2. In
It's going to be a fast first hour, you think. I mean, the break is going to be sought after big time.
Yeah, you can see the break just not really going well. It even looks like they're starting to drag like early doors, like they're kind of filthy, flat-ish uphill.
Mm-hmm.
Tricky day.
You're thinking the breakaway? I mean, do you
What is
see
this?
like
Yeah. What is this? What does this race even mean for GC riders in terms of do you ride? Like, can you ride? Like, it just seems like there's not that depth and strength and intent from teams to be like,
yeah.
let's take this on. It just seems like there's a lot of let's see what happens in the Giro.
Yeah. I mean, if this was the tour, you'd be like, oh, you know what? Jumbo will probably control for Roglic
Yeah.
for the stage win. Might get a little bit of help from UAE, but this is like, you just feel like there's not quite the depth to control such a stage. So breakaway, yes. Who are we looking at? Like I said off the top, probably looking at guys like Jack Haig, Zakarin. You know that EF are going to be front and center if there's a break, especially after missing yesterday. That went to the finish. Thomas de Gent.
Ben O'Connor, NTT
Ben
needs
O'Connor.
something.
It'd be nice to see Rowan Dennis be able to go in a move. Good for him. Yeah. Raffle.
As Adam said on Facebook, like it's hopefully we get to see a race within a race. The breakaway goes, and then the GC boys want to
We have
race the last.
a bit of a 2-for-1. I think we will get that. But I just don't think teams can control it for the stage win for the GC guys. But I think there's enough there towards the finish that there might be a few little splits.
Unless you pretty much rip out that first, I don't know how many K it is to like that first sprint, like 75K, and it's just so hard to get in the breakaway that it just continues like an under 19 race.
Yeah.
You just keep on going.
I'm going to tip.
When's it going to get to a point though, Campbell? When is it going to get to a point where like these blokes at 1 minute 30, you're just going to have to start launching, have to start getting busy?
Not yet.
Or does that not happen to the third week?
I think so. I think you probably take stock after the stage 14 TT. That's a nice opportunity to really see where you're at.
Yeah.
And then after then, it's the gloves are off third week, all things being normal with the parkour going ahead. But like we've been talking about, the snow is a real possibility. So, yeah, I think after the TT on stage 14, we can see people going wild. But for tonight, I'm going to tip Matteo Fabro from Bora for the win.
The shackles are off. There's no more Sagon duty for the rest of the tour.
Peter Barragon for Jack Haig. Yeah.
I think I like Jack Haig a lot.
Yeah, I like it as well. I like it a
He
lot,
also,
especially with Yates gone.
And he hasn't been emptying the tank, I don't feel. Like, yes, he was doing work kind of looking after Yates on Etna, for example, but he wasn't going to the limit like Lucas Hamilton.
No.
I think there's a bit in the tank there for Jack Haig.
Yep.
There's so many Australians that could be up tonight. Well, not so many. There's a couple in particular. Dylan Sunderland is an interesting one. He needs to be. I think he will look to put himself in the move. I don't know.
Of course,
if he
he'll
can
look
win,
to
though.
it. You know who I'd love to see go in the move, but I don't think he's going to get the luxury to do it. Is Chris Harper. This would be real nice to see him go up the road.
Yeah.
But I think he's got bigger fish to fry. Sadly,
I think he'll be. He'll have instructions from the team car.
Yeah.
He's got work to do for Kreiswijk late in the piece. You'd think EF have to be in the move if they're here to. They missed the day that it went to the finish. Like they have to be in the move.
Yeah, they'll be there. They'll be there big time.
or do we punt on the GC guys heading to the finish? Can you not see? You can't see them going to the finish.
I don't think
You
so.
can't see Trek getting interested.
I can see them getting interested. I can definitely see them getting interested, but I don't see it happening today. Could be wrong, might be wrong, but if the breakaway gets away after 30K, there's a nice little bit of value to really increase the tempo. Then go full gas on the Cat 1, extend the gap even more, and then I just don't see it happening. But time will tell.
Zakarin from the breakaway.
Mentioned him. I don't mind it.
Not a whole lot of downhill. Close to the finish, which we don't mind. We've got 1 descent, 2 descents to
negotiate.
No job next year. I'm going to go with Zakarin to redeem his performance.
I don't mind it.
I really like Jack Haight, though, also from Peter on Facebook.
Yeah.
If he can come out of this Giro with a stage win, it'd be a huge tick for Jack Haig and a nice little piece of confidence for him and Bahrain McLaren as they take him on next year.
Yeah.
As a marquee rider.
I don't think he's their marquee rider.
He's not the marquee rider, but he's in the mix.
I'm sure he'd be getting paid a nice little mozza over there.
He's not like when he signed at Mitchelton.
No.
This is a step up.
Yeah, I concur.
I think that's all.
I think so. Rest day tomorrow. Hopefully we can get Ryder on.
Are we looking at Miles?
I think so. I think, yeah, we'll try and get Miles Scottson on. Talk about his big first week.
Yeah, big first week with Arno just doing the work in his sprint train.
Yeah. Get him in.
Sounds good.
Right. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening in, everyone. Thanks. Appreciate your questions and comments. And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 5:30.
Bye.